This is Little Ozzy, and you're watching Rockin' Shock.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Rock and Shock Show right here on the Classic Metal Show Network. Remember to visit us on the web at rockandshockshow.com. Again, that's rockandshockshow.com. Now, today's episode will be another edition of the Into the Fire podcast, which is an artist interview. So go grab your favorite drink and let's hang out together.
Hey guys, this is Bill Leverty of Firehouse, and you're listening to Into the Fire.
All right, Rock and Shock Nation. Well, I am very, very excited today because I have one of my best friends in the world on this program, and it's Lynn Doak, also known affectionately as Little Ozzy. Hey, Lynn, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, Ray? It's good to see you, bro.
It's good to see you, man. I mean, it's been about a year now since you've been on tour, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but it's been about a year since you and I have seen each other. You know, you were living in St. Augustine, and we got to hang out so much, and it was awesome, and I really do miss you, man, being away.
Thank you, bro.
But we will see each other soon.
Yep.
Now, before we get into today's show, and I'm excited to share with the audience the things that you're doing, I wanted to first talk about CJ a little bit. We were going to have a show, you and I, a few weeks ago, and he had passed. You know, I know you were good friends with CJ and all the members of Firehouse. You know, a few years ago, you took me to Virginia, and I got to hang out with the guys of Firehouse and meet CJ, and I have to say, he was truly a good soul, really great guy. And when I was up on stage with them, watching their performance, it was amazing to see how CJ was connecting with the audience. He truly loved the fans. But you were there with those guys when they first blew up, hit the scene, and just want you to share some of your memories of CJ.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, that really makes me think hard because, for one, I forgot you were even with us that night when I saw him, and he had just had a stomach surgery. When I first got there, the week before that, in Florida, I got a cameo request to film a gentleman's proposal off of a boat, and he was going to bring his woman into the dock at St. Augustine Marina, and I sang goodbye. He proposed to her on the water.
Wow.
I sang goodbye to romance to her. Me and Johnny went up there 2 blocks from the house where he came in on a boat, and I brought her flowers, and she had already said yes, and I sang goodbye to romance for this gentleman named Mario, who happens to be a close friend of CJ in Florida. And he was excited when we arrived to come show me we have a mutual friend, Mario. And it blew my mind because Mario hadn't told me, and neither had CJ. So it was really kind of cool to see that. CJ was an important person in my life, I would say, after I was developed enough musically to play in band. Probably around 18 or 19 is when I met CJ. And I actually had seen him perform in a band called White Heat. Prior to that, we would go to Guitar Center as teenagers. No, I'm sorry, we call it Guitar Center. It was called Guitar Works in Carytown in Richmond, Virginia. And a young man that worked there and taught guitar and sold guitars and was just the coolest cat in the world was a guy named Bill Leverty. And we would go up there every Saturday and we'd team up in cars and head to Richmond from our town to see this young cat play guitar because he was so nice and so friendly. And that's when I met Bill. I didn't meet CJ till afterwards, and the two bands collided, and they formed what was called White Heat. It was White Heat, and it was a band called Max Warrior out of the Carolinas, which was CJ Snare and Perry Richardson, which is bass player for Stryper now. Yeah, played with but him and CJ were characters back in the day when I was an aspiring musician as a child and a teenager. These guys were a little older, and we would go see them, and the way they act and the way they talk and the way they look and the way they write music and the way I just wanted to be like these guys. I really did. You know, and CJ was, to me, there was only a few singers in the world that were even in his category. And to me, that was back then Tony Harnell from TNT, Michael Sweet from Stryper, who is still, there was only a handful of guys in the music world out there that could sing and scream beautiful notes and sound like angels singing. And CJ Snare was one of those guys. And I knew even at a young age, CJ took care of his voice. He wasn't a smoker. He wasn't a drugger. He was a great example. Although, you know, I didn't really listen to that part. But there in my younger years. But, you know, the first night I met him and talked to him serious about music, he said some really cool things to me that really helped me through my career, I guess, in being at my age and still being able to perform and sing. Although I sound worse today, it's because I haven't been taking care of my voice this morning. I've been drinking coffee, but CJ said something to me that really stuck with me. He said that our vocal cords, a natural phenomenon happens after 30, 40 minutes of singing, and it swells. And the only way we can make that swelling go down is to shut our voice down and not talk for 10, 15, 20 minutes, drink warm things, and it'll come back. And so, yeah, that kind of helped me pace myself with Little Ozzy and other bands throughout my career. That, you know, okay, after I sing for 15, 18 minutes, that happens to me. So I need a long guitar solo, or I need time to sit, breathe, and rest. So, yeah, he's helped me a lot. But CJ was just a really cool guy, you know, throughout the years. The cool thing was to see these guys make it. And I was in a little cover band out of Richmond, Virginia called Teaser back in the day. And these guys would gravitate to these guys. And kind of these guys would give us good advice because they were ahead of the game by miles. You know, they knew Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi flew them out to Vegas to record their demo and changed their name from White Heat to Firehouse through the hand of the guys in Slaughter, which was Dana Strum and Mark Slaughter, who was another hero vocally, and still to this day is somebody I like to go to and watch and perform. CJ was one of those guys, but way up here because I had a connection with CJ. He knew who I was and I knew who he was. Although he was leagues above me and will always be. You know, I'm a tribute singer artist. This guy had a voice of an angel. The only other guy that I can equivalent his style to would be the singer for Styx and the singer for Stryper, Michael Sweet. They were very similar voices, and I always gravitated towards that. In my lower register, I can imitate CJ very good and Stryper because I did learn how, through listening to CJ and Pointers, to use my diaphragm correctly. And I think it was him that also said, if you can laugh like Pee Wee Herman and go, you can sing with your diaphragm. So, yeah, my mom thought I was losing my mind in my bedroom for about 6 months after CJ told me that, because that's all she heard was Pee Wee. And he's going to be truly missed. He really is. I get choked up talking about him, and I don't even feel like I deserve to be. I just knew who this guy was, and he's going to be greatly missed.
This is the 19th Annual American Music Awards.
And the winner is Firehouse! This is unbelievable, totally unexpected. We would like to thank God
We would like to thank our family and friends, our great record label, Sony, Epic Records, and Tommy Mottola. We would like to thank Michael Kaplan, also from the label, and our manager, Gigi Freddy. We would like to thank all the people at radio, people at television, and also all of our fans who've supported us all the way. Thank you very much. Keep on rocking.
They're homeboys from Virginia. They're good old boys. You know, Mikey Foster, their drummer, was another one that I met. He was the youngest in the band, and he's from Chesterfield County, and he's one of the coolest guys you ever want to meet. If you want to go get barefooted, ride motorcycles, drink beer, I don't drink beer. He likes it, and have a cookout, and that's what he's all about. They're what you see. Bill Everty's one of the nicest guys you ever want to meet in your life. And you know Bill.
Oh, yeah.
You've been to his house with us. And yeah, I don't know their new bassist too well. I've met him a few shows, and he's a wonderful guy. But I always knew Perry. He was the first guy, which was an amazing thing. Before I met White Heat, the first time, this is funny how you always have these connections with certain people in certain genres, and it's weird because it goes way back to even before that. The first time I ever played in a nightclub with a band in my life at 16 years old was opening for a band called Nantucket in Petersburg, Virginia, at the Copper Mine Cafe, and it was Perry's band. Perry was the bass player in that band, and I remember specifically all that hair, and I wasn't to meet him again until years later in White Heat, and yeah, now he's in Striper. It's like a full circle thing. It's so weird.
Yeah, right. No, you're right. But yeah, I want to take a few moments just to talk about CJ. He will be sorely missed, but he'll never be forgotten.
Hey, this is Chip Snuff from Enough Snuff, and when I want to hear a good interview or what's going on in rock and roll or heavy metal, I listen to Into the Fire. Peace.
All right, did you see that video? I got to say, that video, Jennifer and I had a laugh for like an hour. And what really got me, this shows how much of a great showman you are, because you see videos all the time of people doing some big events, they fall, and then they run the heck out of there. Or, you know, when they fall, they can't get past it. But you are a true professional and showman, because the best part is when you fall flat on your butt and then you yell, Sharon! Oh my, dude, I could not stop laughing. It was so funny, man. I know you want to share something about that.
Dude, you know, it's funny. My wife always puts it in like this really like, what am I trying to say? This spiritual connection. Like you have this demonic, comedic spirit that follows you that I just don't know, and I don't like it. So that's right. But that did come from my dad. My dad was the most quick-witted, funniest human being that I've ever known. And I'm by far, I may have 10% of his. He was just continuous. I mean, everywhere he went, people would just laying on the ground laughing. That's just how he worked. What happened that night was, it was not planned. So many people are like, ha, funny, but scripted. You know, and it's fun to read all the comments because people come up with their own scenarios like, he's drunk. No, I'm not. Never had an alcohol problem. He's high. No, I'm not. Actually did trip. What happened was I ordered these new glasses. These were These are actually prescriptions because my eyes are pretty bad, right? Right now, I can't even tell who you are, right? Kind of look like a cop, so I put the glasses on. It was very freezing cold out. It was a sold out show. I think it was like 700 people there, and it was in I think it was in Wisconsin. No, it wasn't. It was this time back out. It was in Kentucky, but it was a huge outdoor thing. Why they booked it on such a cold night? We thought nobody's going to come. Well, they put mats on the ground about this high up, so they can fall on. But they only put them on one side that night, which they got called out for it later. It was kind of funny. So I put my glasses on, and I ran out there, fired up, feeling great, had my new shoes on, and boom, I actually tripped over that mat. And I grabbed the guardrail, which was supposed to have been connected to the other. They all got in trouble for that video. The video went viral. So what I did was I pulled the guardrails out on top of it, and I hit that ground, and I had that, oh shit, I don't know what to do. So I just screamed, I'm not drunk and I'm not drinking. Okay, that's what I screamed. All right. So the first video we put out, my wife was like, now that doesn't work. We're going to have to figure out a way to edit Sharon. We told a joke about drinking, which I didn't really particularly like because it could have insinuated that maybe I was drinking, and no, I don't drink. So what happened was we got Micro Jackson. I don't know if you know him, so I'll plug him real quick. Micro Jackson, the KOE, the king of entertainment. Oh, he came into our hotel one night, and he's the pro at everything. He writes music, he dances.
And just like that, the king of entertainment, Michael Jackson, returned.
He refs for the Micro Wrestling Federation, which we'll get to later. But the funniest thing was he came to our hotel room, and he said, I need you to scream Sharon right now when I do this. And he went. And I went, Sharon, in the hotel room. And he went, and he put it in there somehow. I don't know how he did that. So we put the video out, and it's come viral. So it's one of the first videos that's ever happened that was totally an accident. It really is. It's still climbing. Right now, if I go watch it, in the last 2 digits or 3 digits, say 109. When I go back, it'll say in 10 seconds, 509. So it's like it never dies. It's crazy. It's an anomaly.
Jennifer and I just, we laughed for, it had to be like an hour, man. So that was great. Let's segue now into the Micro Wrestling Tour. Tell us about that. That's awesome, and I'm so proud of you for this. So I want you to let the audience know what you're doing now with the Micro Wrestlers.
It's one of those things, man. You know, a lot of people like to say the stars lined up. The universe was looking after me. Come on, man. I like to say that it's a God thing, man, in my life because I've been doing Little Ozzy for years, and I love it. And I have the greatest band in the world. But what happened was Micro Wrestling Federation reached out to book the band last August for their finale, grand finale for their reality show that's on Discovery called Big Little Brawlers.
I have brittle bone disease. I have broken over 100 bones in my body, and my childhood goal was to be a wrestler.
When I first got to Pigeon Forge, I thought this is where we have to be. There's 14 million tourists a year that come here. If this place is good enough for Dolly Parton, it's perfect for the Micro Wrestlers.
I have an opportunity to show that I'm just as good as anybody else in this world.
20 years doing this take a toll on me, but I won't quit.
It's harder now that I have a daughter.
I can't afford to get injured anymore.
This is the only job that puts little people on a pedestal.
People from all over the world will see what we're about.
Jack, the owner, is such a great guy. He's a worker too, man. Let me tell you, he's a good boss. He's a great trainer. He's a great entrepreneur. He put all this Micro Wrestling thing together, and he booked us to do his big event called Micro Fest. It took me a long time to get to that. I don't know why I ramble so much, but you can edit all this out. So he booked us to play Micro Fest, and the cool thing was we kept talking, and I went to meet Jack in Jacksonville, Florida, and see the guys and the wrestling team. And so we just got to talking, and how would you like to come out and tour and try to MC? And so I came out to MC, and he was like, "You're horrible. Just keep singing and hang out for a while." So I've been touring and learning this with him and becoming a part of this Micro Wrestling family for the last year on the road. Every night, different city, 2-3 hours, sometimes 5 hours a day drive. It's been grueling, but you know what? I've been able to tour for the first time full time, and I got through a whole year on the road with my wife and 2 dogs and an RV, and it's been quite an adventure.
It's Little Ozzy, and I'm so excited to be working with the Micro Wrestling Federation on May 1st. We'll be in Darien, Illinois, and I can't wait to meet every one of you. We're gonna go crazy rock and roll.
And then my boss called me and said, I need you in Pigeon Forge. The TV show has done so great. We're selling shows out. He said, I want you to MC. And I was like, what? Can't do that. You already set us up. So I'm learning a lot right now. And the guys are happy with me. I think my boss is happy with me. We're having a wonderful time, and I'm doing 4 days a week. We're all having wonderful shows at the Micro Tournament, Pigeon Forge. And I'm off 3 days a week with my wife and my dogs. And I work 5-6 hours, if that, 4 days a week.
That is the best, man. And what really makes me happy is, I see how happy you are, how much fun that you're having doing this. You and I have this history together. We know what we've all been through. I know what you've been through and the challenges that you've had. And to see you, getting out there with this tour and just being so happy, being able to do it with your wonderful wife, it's amazing, bro. And I'm really, really proud of you for that.
I need everyone in here
And that concludes another episode of the Rock and Shock Show right here on the Classic Metal Show Network. Remember to visit us on the web, rockandshockshow.com, and become a member of the Rock and Shock Nation. Membership is absolutely free, and it will literally take you 10 to 15 seconds. I hope you enjoyed today's episode with Little Ozzy, and remember to join me next week for another edition of the Rock and Shock Show. Stay metal, stay horror, and I'll see you soon.